Bro told me free your soul, fans just 3 years old. They been trying to rush through the boss, that's where the DLO. They ain't never tell you the cost for you to feed your soul, but they been trying to auction it off like they King Leopold. Pops told me stand by the standards that we uphold, cause if that man don't stand for nothing, trust that he a fool. I read the script before, I've been right down this road. I would never settle for second, cause
you get that. You careful with your heart, cause it's been broken like a Kit Kat. You giving it to me, I hold it tight just like a 6-pack. You know this is big facts. Mama, you a goddess, I don't want you to forget that. I'm just being honest, more than words, you know I meant that. Standing on my promise, this a statement I can't get back, cause I ain't with the chit chat.
To start at the top of everything, for real, I moved, after I graduated high school, I moved out to Arizona to go to school. What I thought was just audio engineering, but they ended up teaching us everything that has to do with audio and the entertainment industry, as well as the audio business. After I graduated from there, I moved to Atlanta, and you know, I got an internship at the studio called Loud House Studios. Like Young Thug came up through that studio, Lil Baby came up through that studio, and I also had applied to T.I. Studio, and I would have got a job at T.I. Studio, but at the time I was only 19, and they was like, you know, to hire an intern, they at least gotta be 21. So, you know, so the manager at T.I. Studio actually happened to be a grad from the same school that I went to, called CRAS, Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. So, you know, just because she know that I know what I'm doing, she made a couple calls to a couple studios, and Pluto Studio is actually right next door to T.I. Studio. And at the time I was interning at Loud House, I was driving back from the studio, like it was like 12 p.m. the day Future dropped I Never Liked You, and I got a call from their booking manager. Her name is Janae, and she was also the daytime manager at Atlantic Records. So she calls me, she's like, they're interested in like I'm in the middle of listening to the album, like I probably just got to Gold Stacks when, you know, she had called me and was like, yeah, we're interested in setting up an interview with you, the album dropped on a Friday. I went up there that Monday, had the interview, and just got the job. So, and then that was like the end of April, so probably like 2 weeks later, I had my first shift in and shit like that. And then a month after working there, I ended up having the opportunity to engineer Kevin Gates.
So you engineered for Kevin Gates?
Yeah, the song out on YouTube is called I Don't Hit It With the Fork. He had came to Future Studio like a week after he dropped Kaza, the album named after his son. And yeah, I was actually in the middle of moving, like, so I was moving from this house I was staying at where I had like a whole bunch of roommates and shit, and I was moving to an apartment. I was in the middle of moving. Janae calls me, she's like, what you got going on today? I was like, nothing. She was like, hey, there's a session going on up there. I want you to, or there's a session booked for the night. I want you to pull up. I think you're really gonna enjoy it, or whatever the case may be. Like, cause she ain't tell me who it was. I never really told her like how big of a fan I was of Kevin Gates, or like how long I've been listening to him. She just kind of assumed such, you know. At this point, I had a couple shifts up there. I met Dreezy, Moray, you know, just to name a few. And then yeah, so I went up there. This man was 7 hours late to his studio session. The shit was booked for 6 p.m. to like 4 a.m. He pulls up at 1. At 12, the other manager, Bryce, shout out my nigga Bryce, that's my dog. He was like, yeah, yo, you can just go ahead and go home, but we don't even know if he gonna pull up. I'm like, bro, you think I'm about to leave and miss my opportunity of meeting Kevin Gates? You crazy, like, you feel me? So I'm still sitting there. He pulls up at 1, and when he pulls up in a black Suburban. It was just him and Drika, and you know, they were the only two people that pulled up. So he was like, you know, he came in there, he shook all our hands, introduced himself. Like, I'm sitting there like, bro, we know who you is, but, you know, real humble dude. But, you know, and then he's like, you know, anybody from my camp showed up? I'm like, nah, bro, you the only one here. He's like, you're the engineer not here? I'm like, nah. And he was like, damn, you know, I'm thinking he gonna walk out, you know, leave, whatever. And then he looked back up, he goes, shit, any of y'all know how to engineer? I stood straight up, I was like, shit, I do. He was like, shit, I do. He like, you cold with it? I'm like, hell yeah. He like you cold with it? I'm like, hell yeah. He's like, where you from? Like, I'm from Baltimore. He like, oh, so you know how they fuck me up in the DMV? I'm like, man, that, like, what's understood don't need to be explained. You feel me? He was like, shit, say less. Don't even worry about nothing, bro. I got you. You feel what I'm saying? So, he went back. He had booked the Ferrari room, which is like this all red room. Like, if you look up Future Studio, 9 times out of 10, that's gonna be the room that shows up.
That's hard.
Yeah, he booked B room. We went in there. We didn't even finish the song. We probably recorded like a minute to a minute and a half of it, and then his session time was up, and then like, cause he actually sat down and wrote it, so it wasn't like he just got in the booth and just got to spitting like most people do. Like, he actually sat down and wrote it, and then he ended up going to Patchwork, finishing up the song, and then ended up releasing it on YouTube like a month or so later.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you been working, bro. You been working.
Yeah.
Baltimore Podcast, episode number 38. 38? We put up 38 of them things on you.
Talking about me. You been working, shorty.
Hey, look, we did 38, man. Yeah, just a little bit, Still a long way to go, but 38, we put them up on you, 38. I'm here with, well, actually, Middle Class Kyle, a.k.a. Kyle Coleman, a.k.a. Dope Taste Wolfgang Bushido. I am here with
Nick Curry, multi-talented, the best way I can put it is I'm the puppet master, bro. There's no part of like the machine that I'm not operating. I'm an artist, producer, engineer. I have my own label, my own media company. I do the camera work, do some editing, creative directing, acting. Man, I do everything.
What's your label, bro?
It's called Incarnate Music Group, IMG, and the media company is called Incarnate Media Group, IMG as well.
That's real, man. What's the biggest lie independent artists are being sold right now?
Dropping a song a week is the way to basically like blow up. Like, and you might get like your temporary burn, but like the thing is that in the world of consumption, like the world of overconsumption is like, it makes it so that people do want content from you all the time, but then at the same time, if you lack the ability to know how to make it evolve over time, they're gonna get bored very fast. And with music, when it comes to creating, like, for real artists, it comes from a real place. You know what I mean? Like, it takes life to really create the things that people really feel deeply. So, if you dropping a song a week, like, you're no longer really worried about the quality of what you're dropping. You're just more so focused on dropping. So, like, you got to learn how to create anticipation and create the desire for what it is that you do. You got to create the value in it. And the 48 laws of power tell you, value is created in absence.
Value is created in absence. Man, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I feel like a song a week is not enough. It's not enough anymore. You got to network. You got to communicate with other people. You got to put out different shit. Like, not just the same shit. I was listening to your catalog a little bit. You got a wide range of songs. Like, it's like you got R&B, melodic. You got songs where you just spitting. Like, how long have you been doing this for, bro?
The easy answer is my whole life, bro. Like, I've been, like, the first time, like, I actually, like, sat down and wrote something, I was, like, 6 years old. And then when I was 8, my dad and my uncle had started a record label called 50/50 Entertainment. And, like, when they had did that, like, to me, it was, like, no way in hell. Like, to me, it was, like, nah, this shit possible. Like, from that point on, nobody could ever tell me that this shit ain't possible. You know what I'm saying? I watched them build a studio, build a barbershop, in the back of the barbershop, build another studio, had artists playing on the radio. Squirrel Wide was like, like a real big fan of ours. He ended up signing them as his management and stuff like that. watch them go on tour, stuff like that. So it was like, nah, hell nah. Like, you know, so like when I was 8, that's when like I really started taking like the writing and being an artist very seriously. And like, you know, I never really turned back. And then when I was 11, you know, that's when I started producing. You know, my parents had bought me like a little drum pad and a little like Casio 65 key electric piano or whatever the case may be. And you know, from that point on, it was just like, nigga, now I'm making the beats, then I'm writing to it. You know what I mean? And then soon after that, I basically had a whole in-home studio. So I've been recording myself since I was like 12. Like, and from that point, like,
So you was making songs at 12. You was making your own songs,
man,
like off
I
what?
still got songs on my phone from when I was 12.
Damn. God. All right, but like at a young age, you saw like that this was possible. Like, you know, like this was something that could be attainable. A lot of kids don't see that. You know what I'm saying? So they don't really know if it's gonna be attainable. But you knew at an early age, and you said because of your
And like realistically, like the biggest thing is I've always like, you know, I grew up playing sports, so I've always been like a prove people wrong kind of person. You feel what I'm saying? So like even before it got to the point where they were going on tours and they started building a name, like just hearing music that, you know, was produced so close to home, you feel what I'm saying? Like playing on the radio, burned to a CD disc. It was like, nah, like, yeah, like,
good
nah.
times, good times. You talking about the lime wire ever? You in there a little bit? Or
Yeah, huh?
lime wire?
Shit. Bro, I put it to you like this. And I'm be on some Soldier Boy shit when I say it. And the thing is, the crazy part is like you can still go back and look at it, but like, bro, my uncle was like the first one to really go into that streaming shit. Like when we dropped, like we had an artist, his name is Jaguar J and shit. When we dropped the album, there was no physical copy. It was only digital. You know what I mean? And then they had it playing over there in Belgium and stuff like that. Like niggas was really ahead of their time. Like, you know, back when people were still buying CDs, still putting like, this is like what, I mean, like maybe not buying CDs as much because, you know, by that point you had the iPods and shit like that. But like for the most part, like it wasn't no streaming platform where you could just go download music and stuff like that. A lot of the shit you had to pirate offline or, you know, pay for. So niggas was still buying CDs back then. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
So like back to the question, you said you started at 6 years old.
yeah.
How many years is that? Like how old are you now?
17 years. 23.
Dang, God.
23. Turned 23 in March.
And started recording at 12.
Bro, that's the funny shit about it is like, yo, I'm really like a vet in this shit, but like with my age and like, you know, like where I am in life, like to a lot of people, if you don't know my backstory, it's like, yeah, yo, you like it's like just getting started for real. Like
I get that, man. Like, you know, you keeping it fresh in your head though.
yeah.
All right, so what's something Baltimore artists need to stop doing immediately?
I got a couple things, but my biggest thing ain't even about what they need to stop doing. But I'm gonna get to that. Number one, stop fucking going to YouTube for beats, bro. Like, there's more than enough dope ass producers in the city. Shout out my boy produced by Young Rel. Shout out No Signal. Shout out Sadi. Shout out all of them like J Cash. Like it's countless dope producers in the city that have distinct sounds that people can build with. Like, and the artists that are the biggest, they got that. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got Scholar, you know, he started out with Elijah 808, you feel what I'm saying? But he keeps a team of producers around him. You know, you got YG Tech, it was like, you know, him and No Signal for a while and stuff like that. Like, you know, they all keep producers with them, you know what I mean? So number one, stop going to YouTube, bro. Like, you know, people getting their fucking music taken off of streaming platforms and stuff like that because they ain't do the proper business.
So like if they not getting their beats off YouTube, where should they go?
I just named a few. I just named a few producers, and you can find a whole bunch more. You know, produced by Jesse James. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you got countless producers. You know, you got my man Kung Fu Chop. Like, it's countless people out here producing. You got my guy Yanni over there at Studio 17. You know what I mean? Like everybody. Like there's too many producers in the city. Like realistically, you know, you got my guy Reese got it. Like everybody got their own wave. Like and all niggas gotta do is just network and lock in. So I say the YouTube beats is number one. Number two, I think this is where I get into what they need to start doing. What Baltimore niggas need to start doing is have a marketing budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hella, like, we got hella talent in the city, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of talent, you know what I mean? But everybody's doing the same formula that they see the next nigga doing. You know what I mean? You sitting out there, you in the car, or you out front in the car with a whole bunch of your niggas, women shaking ass, you just posting it. You might post it a couple times, but like realistically, those that ain't really getting the burn, they not really posting it. And then even for the ones that are, like, you know, having a real marketing budget allows you to really get in front of the audiences that are bigger than just the city. You know what I mean? You see YG Tech doing it. You know, he got, you know, features with Benny the Butcher, you know, Lil Papa, Mozzie, you know what I'm saying? You see people doing it, but, you know, a lot of people are failing to realize, like, yo, that is the biggest part. Like, you know what I mean? You can have a dope song and all of that stuff, but if you're not getting it in front of the right people, marketing it to the right audiences, bro, you're not really doing nothing. It's just like, you just kind of running in place. You know, motion ain't progress.
So you feel like record labels are necessary in 2026?
It depends. There's no straight answer to that, because I never just outright tell somebody never sign a contract. You feel me? But what I will tell somebody is have a plan. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what you get is an advance, is just a loan. You know what I mean? They need to make that back, and then they're also investing outside of the advance. You have marketing investment, music video investment, studio time investment. So like, you know, they're counting every single penny. So like, if you're not taking your money and investing it or figuring out a way to make a return on it outside of just the music, because there's a chance you don't pan out, then you kind of setting yourself up for failure. Now, today, it is very easy to do it yourself, but I'm not going to say very easy. It's easier to do it yourself, but, you know, you require a team and consistency. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I said, I got a label and stuff like that. And, you know, I already knew, but like, you know, we got all the pieces, but even still, like, it's still taxing. You know, when you're sitting there, you're trying to get up, you're trying to make sure you're doing the content for this artist. You know, they have everything that they need, doing the proper rollout, you know, doing the proper things for distribution and marketing and all that stuff. Like, you know, it's taxing. So like, you really need a team. Like, and what I notice about a lot of people is, with a lot of people, they'll have their groups and it'll be like one main artist. You know what I mean? It'll be one that really, really has the potential to be something great. And then it's like, even though those around them might not necessarily take it as seriously as that one main artist, they'll spend more of their time trying to be artists rather than being like, okay, yo, my man's really talented. You feel me? Like, he really got the real potential to be something great. You know what I mean? But he need a cameraman, or he need a producer, or he need an engineer, or, you feel what I'm saying? And instead of being like, yo, let me go learn this shit. Like, you know, you got YouTube, you got countless people giving out the sauce everywhere for free. You feel what I'm saying? And instead of somebody being like, yo, let me go learn this, so he ain't got to worry about paying for it. You feel me? I see his potential. I see his, so we going to make it so whenever he needs me to pull up and shoot, we pulling up and shooting. You feel what I'm saying? My man's know how to engineer. Yo, we helped him invest in the computer. We helped him invest in Pro Tools. We helped him learn, like, you know, he went and learn how to use it. We helped him invest in the plugins. So now it's like, you know, when I need to record at home, I don't need to go to the studio. My man's really know how to do it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and things like that. You know, somebody who just learns the marketing game. Like, you know, that's pretty much easy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can learn marketing and be good at marketing and get results. And you don't have to, and really, if you really know what you're doing, you don't have to put a dollar into it if you really know how to play your cards. But, you know, if you do put a dollar into it, it's even easier. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Well, like, going off that, you know, what do you think is worse? Like a bad record label deal or staying independent and broke?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Like you got a 360 deal, but it's like $500,000. Like this money is going to change your life, but you know you gotta kick out 10 albums in
That
like a year.
okay. That depends on a couple factors. You feel what I'm saying? Like I can like again like coming from like how I see things. It is no straight answer. Like it depends on a whole bunch of things. Like number one, what is the term of the contract for? You feel what I'm saying? How many projects do you need to fulfill the contract? They're giving you 500,000. Okay, um, you got a 360 deal, but what people don't realize is you can negotiate the contract. Like just because they give you a 360 deal with 500,000 for 6 years and 10 projects, don't mean you have to accept it. And what they don't realize is nowadays, 9 times out of 10, if a label is coming to you, you already like, especially nowadays. See, before a label would find a diamond in the rough and some rundown open mic parlor, some girl who got an ability to sing and an ability to write. You feel what I'm saying? Put $1 million behind her and turn her into a star. 9 times out of 10 today, you're already making a wave by the time they're coming to you. You feel what I'm saying? So one of two things. Either take after the label as an independent artist and basically become your own label, or negotiate the deal, because by the time they're coming to you, you're already somebody they see is worth the investment. So you got to realize that you are the prize. So when you be like, yeah, I don't really like this, bro, I want to do this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other, change this, change that, you know, they might not do everything that you ask, but you might find that they're a lot more willing to adjust the terms otherwise. But let's say they aren't, right?
Yeah.
It depends on how long the contract is.
A year.
Okay, a year.
500,000.
How many
10
how many
albums.
projects you 10 albums in a year, nigga?
Yeah.
What the
I
fuck?
know it's crazy, man.
Yo,
but
that's
look,
fucking
That's
insane,
a lot
girl.
of money. Though.
That's a lot of money. And the problem is that if you don't fulfill the contract, or well, not fulfill the contract, is what they're really more so worried about is making their money back. And 9 times out of 10 is going to be with interest. So like, if you can do it in a year, 10 hours, that's fucking insane. You got to give me something else, guys. You got.
So like,
Because at that point, I tell you, fuck that deal.
Damn.
Like if they tell you 10 albums in a year, and they coming to you, 9 times out of 10, they already got another label. There's probably another label that's just as interested in you, and you can leverage that interest from the initial label. You know what I mean? But two, all right, let's say I'm gonna make the premise. Let's say it's about 2-3 years. You get about 2 mixtapes and 3 albums, right? In that case, I would say you gotta look for like the little things like about your masters. And most people don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and give a little bit of drip right here. Even if a label takes your masters after, I can't remember if it's 25 years or 35 years, you automatically get the right to reclaim your masters. The labels won't tell you that, but once you put in the file to reclaim your masters, they have to give it back to you. There's no court battle. There's no, like, that is the term of, you feel what I'm saying?
Hold
Like,
on, so you said after you leave the label, they have to give you your masters back?
After 35 years of the release.
35 years.
But think about it like this. Think about somebody like Drake, right?
Yeah, those joints gonna be
he got
valuable.
Take Care. You feel what I'm saying? 35 years at it, Take Care is still gonna be Take Care. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's the same thing with Michael Jackson. I'm not saying Drake is Michael Jackson. I don't be in the comments trying to cut my neck off. You feel me? But
Man,
like,
Drake
it's like the same thing. Like if you're really making timeless music, it's worth it. And even if you aren't, like, especially if you're in a label, you're gonna get some type of sync licensing placement or something. Like, there's gonna be some way that you can, that money is going to be accruing money over time. They make sure of that. So after 35 years, 25, 35 years, You can put in a file to reclaim your masters, and they have to give it back to you.
It's a long time, though.
It is a long
Real.
time. You know what I mean? But hey, you know, you can try to get it back early. You can negotiate. You can buy them back. You know what I'm saying? Like J. Cole did with Jay-Z. But
All right. So that being said, if a label did own your masters, like, would you take $1 million deal but they owned your masters, all of your masters?
me personally,
Yeah.
depending on the terms, I probably would. And it's just because, like, see, the biggest thing I tell anybody when it comes to a deal and when it hits the table is have a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Have a plan. Have a plan to negotiate. Have a plan after you sign it. Because, like I said, it's a loan. So, me knowing what I know, if anybody gave me $1 million, bro, shit, I give you 1.5 back. You feel me? Like, cause like it's really like I know exactly what to do with it. So like, if it makes sense, yeah, shit. Especially if it's like, you know, let's say like I said, like 2-3 years, 2 projects, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, I know my creative process and I know me as a creator. Like I've been doing this 17 years, so the longevity that I trust I'm going to have in myself. Because even if you aren't mainstream, you're still gonna have your core fan base that rock with you whenever. So, you know.
So you said you know how to turn it to 1.5.
Yeah. And still
And and how long?
And still have more left over. I mean,
in a year, or like how much time we talking?
I mean, definitely in a year. But I mean, like at that point, like,
'cause I'm trying to get the sauce. Like, how do you turn $1 million into 1.5?
can't get that sauce to you. Violate my own NDA. I violate my own NDA.
See, all right, look, aspiring rappers, unfortunately, you can't get the sauce. We can't tell you how to turn $1 million into 1.5.
I tell you this. You come locking with the team, I teach it to you. Like,
how they lock in with the team?
I mean, you can either hit me directly on Instagram. I am _Nick Carey. I know you probably gonna put it in the comments. You can contact the team directly at Incarnate Music Group. That's music with a Z and a K. You know what I'm saying? You can email us at Incarnate Music Group. Like we do marketing, we do brand development. You know what I'm saying? Even if you just need a consultation, like anything like that, man, like one-stop shop. You know, Lauren does the camera work. You know what I mean? I know people around the city know Lauren, but you know, like, man, you know, there's a whole media company attached to it, so there's no limit on what we can do. So,
producer, engineer, or artist, who deserves the most credit for a hit? Producer,
it depends.
Engineer, artist.
It depends. Cause for each song, there's a different thing about it that makes it a hit. You might get a hit song where the beat is pretty basic. You feel me? And the artist makes the song. Well, artist and engineer. But I say, like, bro, I really feel like there is no. I feel like everybody plays their own role. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like there's any one. Like, as somebody who does it all, there is no one role that makes a hit. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally the cohesiveness and how everything complements each other, from the producer to the artist, how the artist may write the song. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might even get the producer, engineer who helped. And then, you know, to how the engineer crafts the sound, makes this delay hit like that, bring this reverse reverb in like this, make this beat chop right here, whatever the case may be. Like, there's different things about a song that make it a hit. I don't feel like there's any one person in any song that is responsible for making it a hit, unless the person is doing everything themselves.
Word. Shit, that's a good answer. Very media trained, bro. So you call yourself the hopeless romantic. What made you hopeless?
It's like it's very much like I got like I won't say a traditional way of loving, because I feel like that's controversial depending on how anybody chooses to interpret it. But like, you know, I'm somebody who love without conditions. You feel what I'm saying? And when it come like, and when it comes to this generation, like you look around and you kind of just see where everybody's mental is. Like even like forget the social media aspect. You'll talk to certain people. Or certain people will go through these certain circumstances or whatever the case may be, and it's just like, and then even through my own experience, like it just kind of made me feel like after a while, I started to kind of feel like I would never experience love in the way that I give it. You feel what I'm saying?
Dang.
So like that's kind of how I felt when I came up with that. I'm working on this album. It's actually called Tales of the Hopeless Romantic, and you know, like it's kind of like most of that endless cycle that we kind of go through, where it's like, you know, you fall head over heels for somebody. You feel what I'm saying? You fall more so in love with the idea of the person, and you know, you get into it. You start getting your feelings involved, and it's not what you thought it was. But then there's a flip side to it that most people kind of don't really go through, because we'll tend to kind of. It's funny how you see how everything connects, because, like I said in the word of overconsumption earlier, when we lose something or something is, or we feel like we're deprived of something, we immediately look for something else to occupy that space. So like very few of us actually take the time to really just heal through it, sit with ourselves, and really, you know, grow from the experiences that we have. So like, you know, I kind of like embrace that more so on the second half of that project. You know, and it's set to drop March of 2027. But yeah,
So like, would you take back the woman who broke your heart if she came back changed?
nah. And I say that, and I don't say that just because, yeah, I know you're like, yeah, of course he gonna say that, yo. He just said he got a girl. Nah, but like, I was like, cause here's how I see it, right? Like for me, every experience that I have is uh, uh, a test or a lesson. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's either or a blessing or a lesson. You feel what I'm
That's a
saying?
good way to look at it, brother. That's the best way to look at it.
So it's like, if like this is genuinely my thought process, if something like that was to happen, bro. Like if my genuine thought process would be like, even let's say in the off chance that I was tempted to say like to go back into it, whatever the case may be, like my genuine thought would be like, this is a test. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like this is testing me, because like it's like I know what I went through in that experience. I know what I got from that experience, and I knew how I needed to take it to grow into who I'm meant to be. You feel what I'm saying? So like, and it's very hard to experience somebody else, the same person in a different way once you have a different perspective. I feel like it's kind of like going back to school and taking the same test. You feel what I'm saying? Like you graduated from the 5th grade, but you gonna go back when you in the 6th grade to go take the 5th grade test. That don't make sense.
I get it though. What do you think is something women misunderstand about men and love?
Yeah, give me a second. You might have to cut this part.
We still rolling, man. Fuck it, take your time. That was a deep question, bro. What's something
I
women
think the biggest thing that women misunderstand about men when it comes to love
Yeah.
is that
Shit, I'm a answer. Shit, I feel like we got feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like we not. I don't know. Like sometimes the stereotype is men don't have feelings, or we don't talk about our feelings, or whatever. We bury our feelings. But I feel like that's, you know, niggas have feelings, niggas have emotions, you know.
I think it's like, and the big like, cause what I was like, what I thought of right before you answered the question was like that we love different. You feel what I'm saying? So like, there's certain things that your man might do out of love that you might look at as like pestering you or trying to belittle you. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, don't get me wrong, but like there's a clear distinction between, you feel what I'm saying, when they really are. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I think one of the ways that men give love that women really hate is we like to teach what we know. You feel what I'm saying? Now sometimes you're not always gonna agree, and that's okay. You feel what I'm saying? But like, if it's like I know something and like, I want to teach it to you, like I think they look at that as more so like trying to lecture, or you feel what I'm saying, trying to talk down or like treat them lower than where they are. But it really just comes from a place of like genuine love. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, it's crazy to say this because I guess it's kind of contradict what I was saying, but it's like no different than if you were to teach a child. But now, like, in that sense, it's like, it's like the same thing. Like, if your man don't know something, you feel me, you gonna try to teach him something. You know what I mean? And whether we care or not, you know what I mean. Like, a lot of times we still give that ear. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like it comes from a different place. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
Nah, that definitely made sense. Um, let's see. Would you rather have a woman that brings you peace or ambition?
Where did you coming up with these questions from, Shorty? Where, like, yo, you ain't got like a single notepad, and I'm like, bro,
Shout
ain't no
out
way,
Chat GPT Plus. Shout
ain't
out
no way
Chat
this nigga
GPT
just
Plus.
coming up with this shit on top.
I'm saying it's deep shit. I ain't
Nah,
gonna
for
lie.
sure. Uh,
Like peace or
I
ambition.
say peace.
Mm.
I say peace because somebody like me, I'm already ambitious. You know what I mean? And I try to stick to my discipline as much as possible. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Oh, that's a good question though. That's a good question.
But you taking peace, you taking peace. Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah, like, cause at the end of the day, it's like,
we already ambitious.
yeah.
I feel like I'm ambitious from past toxic
But
relationships
like
too.
at the same time, like I say this. Any good woman will naturally make her man ambitious. Well, let me not say that. Let me not, cause there's definitely some lazy niggas don't want to do nothing. But for the most part, like, in my case, I say, like, a good woman will naturally make a good man ambitious. I say that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
All right, so if everything disappeared tomorrow, all your music, all your followers, your businesses, who are you without all of those things?
Still me. Still me. Like, cause at the end of the day, like, I've definitely had, teachers along the way. But for the most part, like, I definitely had teachers along the way. But for where I am right now, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for my commitment and my ambition. So like, at the end of the day, tomorrow, without the followers, without the business, without nothing but what I know, my experience and my ambition, I'm still gonna be me on the same mission. I should put that in the song. That was bars. I gotta put that in the song.
All right, so what question are interviewers scared to ask you that you wish somebody would?
You said what?
I said, what questions are interviewers scared to ask you that you wish somebody would?
This, yo, I'm just realizing. Bro finessing me into helping him come up with an interview question.
I'm saying this for
Nah, I'm
you know
messing with you.
future
I'm messing with you.
interviewers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's for everybody. You know, I'm trying to get better. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not the
Nah, I'm
best
messing with
interviewer,
you. I'm messing with you, ready?
but
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I
yeah.
ain't gonna lie. Like this is definitely one of the best interviews I had, bro. Like, I think. Yeah, nah, it's definitely one of the best interviews I had. Shout out to my people over there. You know what I mean? But
All right, Baltimore podcast, man. Look, it's been real. All right, what song should I put at the beginning of this though? When I do like the intro, like yours.
I ain't gonna lie. As the ones that's out, I think Find My Way. When you was playing that in the beginning, I'm like, nah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Find My Way definitely hit.
I
Matter of
got
fact,
you.
go ahead, go stream that Find My Way by Nick Curry out on all major platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, all of that. I got some more content on the way. I got some singles on the way. You know, IMG about to take over. Be on the lookout. Show.
Baltimore podcast, episode number 38. Yo, we out here. We out here. Thank you.
I don't know in the interview back then.
Shit. Nah, I got a little high in the head because you was talking. Oh, you was putting that up? Look.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead. We can chop it. You know, we can cut it in there.
So we still going.
Yeah.
We still rolling.
That's it.
All right, so
I think the go ahead.
what's the question?
You said what's a question that interviewers are scared to ask you that you wish they would, something like that. I think what's my biggest fear, and you know, like, and I say that because my biggest fear, honestly, is just inadequacy. You know what I mean? Like, it's like any day that I'm not working, I feel like it's a wasted day. You know what I mean? Anytime like I know better and don't do better, I feel like it's a wasted opportunity to be better. Because at the end of the day, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Like I don't fear death. I don't fear death because it's kind of the goal. And I say that's the goal because at the end of the day, everybody experiences it. You know what I mean? So there's no point in wasting my days being afraid of death if it's inevitable. You know what I mean? So my energy's better placed elsewhere. To where it's like, you know, realistically at the end of the day, the biggest thing I fear is myself. You know, because nobody can stop me or get in my way but me. You know what I mean? Any day that I get up, I'll be like, I don't feel like going to the gym, or I don't feel like writing this song, or I don't feel like going to engineer this session, or I don't feel like getting up and doing the necessary things I got to do to get this business off the ground, is a day that I choose complacency, and that I would rather be where I am than where I want to be. And that's the biggest thing that scares me.
Being complacent.
Yeah.
I respect it, bro. Baltimore podcast, episode number 38. That was Nick Curry, Middle Class Kyle, aka Kyle Coleman, aka Dope Taste Wolfgang, but Sheeta. We out here.